We do need to do a little bit of a speed run here to end the
Yes.
show because we do have several smaller stories that occurred over the course of the week. Thankfully, Rick already mentioned one of them with Zayden Anderson getting upgraded to a 4-star in the class, which is a help for this Tennessee football recruiting class. And one other thing that caught my eye last week, we talked about Faison Brandon losing his star according to On3. He is still the number one recruit in the country per 247. So if you're a Tennessee fan, definitely follow 247 if you want accurate recruiting.
And
That's all I'm going to say.
And I have for a long time. Like, I think I mentioned it last time on the show. Like, I've always liked 247 for their recruiting advice. Maybe it's because they rate Tennessee players higher. I don't know, but been following them all the way since like the Josh Dobb days. And yeah.
One other thing that we do need to mention in the world of recruiting before we transition to some other items here, and we'll see if this actually materializes into a commitment later on. But Marshall Manning has moved to Baylor School in Chattanooga. He is going there as a day student. And Jordan, is this a sign? Is it a sign that he is moving over? And that him moving over will bring him to the Vols here in the future?
Well,
is it possible?
I mean, it's definitely possible. And I don't know. I mean, you know as good as anyone, being like a Vols fan, like we tend to get our hopes up quite a bit. But I will say, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's grown up in like the Denver area like his whole life. I don't know, like him coming to East Tennessee, you know, like not too far from Knoxville. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything, but of course, I feel like every Vols fan would love to see Marshall Manning come back. But like, you know, we saw Arch go in a different direction than his father and his uncle, the way that they went. And we saw Peyton Manning do that with Tennessee. And I don't know. I don't want to get heartbroken, but I mean, I feel like it's got to be a good sign, right?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a Baylor pipeline going on too. I know Amari Jefferson's kind of indirect, but Gabriel Ascenda and Jamian Theodore both in this 2026 class for Tennessee. So you would think it's a good sign, and I've watched a little bit of his, I guess, middle school tape. Liked what I saw. How can you not? But you know, he's going to go up against bigger and better competition when he gets to Baylor, and Baylor really is trying to be the best of the best here in Tennessee. Them and Macaulay both doing a lot on the, I don't want to say high school football recruiting trail because that's what every college does, but they're recruiting kids from all over the country to come there is what I'm trying to say. And of course, Marshall Manning is one of them. So we'll see what happens with him. Does he want to go to Tennessee and have all the hype around him? We will find out here in a few years. He's a class of 2028 kid, so we got a little ways to go with Marshall Manning. To the NFL we go now. A couple of notes here this week. Some pretty big news, actually. The Kansas City Chiefs have signed a deal with Trey Smith, a former Tennessee guard, that is for 4 years for $94 million, $70 million guaranteed. And this is a remarkable story for Trey Smith because there's a couple reasons. One, he obviously did not see the field as much as he would have liked at Tennessee. Obviously dealt with a lot of scary medical situations here. One in particular involving the blood clots in his lungs. And of course, that did not look good to NFL teams. They didn't want to take the risk. So he fell all the way to the 7th round in 2021. And then two, you know, just from an era of Tennessee football that was at its absolute worst. You know, thank goodness the transfer portal was not utilized the way it is today, because he would have been off and running after the 2017 season and you would not remember him as a Vol. But of course he stayed around and played through the Jeremy Pruitt years, but it's really been fun to watch him transform into a guy that was maybe a little too slept on in college, and he's really become the best guard in football now. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story because I mean, you mentioned his medical issues that he's had to overcome and everything. And I mean, I think a lot of people were doubtful during the time, and hence the reason why he fell in the draft. But I mean, if there's any guy that you really want to see be able to find success in the NFL and some guy to root for, I mean, it is Trey Smith. I mean, he's a Tennessee guy through and through. I'm pretty sure he won Mr. Football in high school in Tennessee. And then, he never quit. He never gave up. He stayed on the team. And, he's just fought his way to playing for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. And now he's the highest paid guard in NFL history. I mean, there's just so much to love about him, and not even to mention too how he quoted Peyton Manning when he decided that he was going to stay for senior year, which I thought was really cool at the time. So it's great seeing a true Vol for life get a payday and everything. And man, the amount of money that's being thrown around these days. Because I was telling my brother, like literally like the other day, I was talking about, I was like, these quarterbacks and stuff, they're getting paid so much. I mean, I remember Peyton Manning was making like 22, $27 million a year. And now that's on the lower end. If you're,
Inflation.
yeah, I mean, it's just insane the amount of money going around. You said 70 million guaranteed. I mean, he's gonna have a nice life with that money. That's for sure, regardless of how his NFL career finishes out.
So one Vol got a payday in the NFL this past week, and that's good for him. Another one is searching for one, and that is another guy from that same era of Tennessee football. Jawan Jennings is having some contract disputes with the San Francisco 49ers. And it's kind of funny to me that they're having disputes here because he's kind of become by default the best receiver on that team with Debo Samuel going elsewhere, and then of course Brandon Ayuk's injuries. So everybody's looking at him now to do the job there, and he's done a good job in San Francisco. I feel like he's a guy that, like Trey Smith, went late in the draft, but has really proven his worth just not only as a wide receiver but as a blocker. That's one of his more endearing traits as a wide receiver. And that's a guy you would like to keep around as an NFL organization. So I am a little bit puzzled as to what the 49ers are doing here. But basically, it sounds like either it's give me a new deal or I'm going to go look for something else.
Well, I mean, I'll say from his time when he was playing at Tennessee, I mean, he was always a workhorse and he sure seemed like a great leader that Tennessee had. I mean, I'm not sure how much of a presence he has in the 49ers locker room, but I mean, he was always a dog at Tennessee, always giving his all. Like they slapped the sign before going into kneeling every day. Like, I'm going to give my all for Tennessee today. I mean, he embodied that. He embodied that whenever he played at Tennessee. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, you mentioned his blocking. I mean, his contested catching, and not to mention too, a couple. I mean, when he was in the Super Bowl with the 49ers, I mean, if the 49ers were to win that game, he would have been your Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't fault him for wanting more money. I mean, and he was essentially wide receiver one last year. I mean, he almost cracked 1,000 yards. He got 6 touchdowns, but I mean, his presence is still strong outside of catching the football. Like you mentioned, the blocking and all that. So, I mean, I don't blame him for thinking that he needs more money and everything like that. And I mean, it's honestly too, with the way 49ers have been, I'm like, are they ever going to get over the hump? I'm like, yeah, they're always there knocking on the front door to get it. Like, they put themselves in position to win a Super Bowl, but man, they haven't walked away from it. I think they've lost their past 3 Super Bowls. And I know like the one of them's from a while ago, but I mean, still, like, the 49ers haven't seemingly been able to get over the hump. And if he's wanting to win a Super Bowl and everything, I mean, I know they're a pretty good team, but they haven't got over the hump yet. So, I mean, I don't fault him at all for the contract issues. And hopefully he does get a good deal, whether it's with the 49ers or not.
Yeah, so you've had 3 lost Super Bowls for the 49ers in the last 15 years. Of course, the one where the lights went out in New Orleans against the Ravens, and then you had the other 2 to the Chiefs. So no wins this century in the Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if that's what's really playing a factor in the decision, but it just feels like that is an offense that is full of injury-prone guys. Christian McCaffrey, for the first couple of years he's there, it was just like, all right, when is it going to happen? When is he going to get injured? And it finally did in 2024. Brandon Ayuk blows out his ACL. He's not the same guy. They're having contract disputes. So you got problems there. Debo Samuel gets shipped off to Washington. So yeah, you've had all kinds of injury problems there, and it feels like you need all the depth you can get. And especially now with a couple of those guys not being there anymore, it's just like, why not pay the guy? But we'll see what comes of it. It may be a whole lot of nothing for right now, but yeah, that's what I've got on the Vols in the NFL. No other important notes there. One final thing to end the show, and I appreciate all you guys being on with us again tonight, even if we are running a little bit over. But it was announced earlier today that Tennessee will play Tennessee State for the first time ever in 2027. And I don't know this for sure. In the comments, feel free to fact check me if you would like. But I looked it up on a trustworthy football database, and I actually don't think Tennessee has ever played an HBCU in football. Again, I could be wrong, but I was just scrolling through the teams that Tennessee has played games against, and I did not see one on there that I recognized as an HBCU. So I believe this is a first. Again, I could be wrong. Feel free to fact check me. The other detail about this game, it is supposed to be played in Neyland Stadium. However, TSU officials are working to move that game to Nissan Stadium, the new one that is, when it opens in 2027, as kind of like a celebratory thing. Jordan, your initial thoughts on Tennessee's first ever matchup with TSU coming up in 2 years?
Well, first of all, you mentioned that about the HBCUs. I'm actually not aware of that because I've deep dived into Tennessee's past games before, and I don't know how far you've gotten into it, but I mean Tennessee's even played against NBA. Like, which if anybody is not familiar in the comments, that's Montgomery Bell Academy, which is a high school in Tennessee. So Tennessee has played against a high school football team, and that is on their like record there. So it's kind of crazy to think that Tennessee's never played against an HBCU. But I mean, I kind of like the idea of new Nissan Stadium. I mean, I think that would be a cool way to advertise the new stadium for Titans fans out there and everything, like get a first look at it. And then plus, like, you know, I live in the Nashville area, of course. So, I mean, it'd be nice. It's just a short drive to go see the game. But I'm excited about the matchup too. I mean, TSU's always had a great band. That's one thing that I've always heard. And, you know, Tennessee fans love Pride of the Southland. So, I mean, I think that there'll be probably some cool interactions there as well. And like, you know, Eddie George being the head coach.
Nope.
He's
nope.
not
He's
anymore.
at Bowling Green now.
I forgot about that.
I looked it up today. Reggie Barlow is the name of their new coach.
Well, never mind. I was going to say Eddie George, I guess, is looking to go 0-2 against Tennessee in his career, but I guess I forgot about Bowling Green State. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the game. And if it's in Nissan Stadium, cool. If it's in Knoxville, cool. I mean, it's still a game that I would like to tune into. And I mean, I think there could be a lot of cool interactions that come out of it.
All right. I'm going to be a little bit of a negative Nancy with this here, Jordan. Sorry to ruin your fun. But first and foremost, and I don't say this to be, you know, just degrading or whatever, but I don't really get excited for games that are scheduled against FCS opponents. I feel like the way college football is moving, they're kind of trying to push those games out, which is a shame because these teams, especially TSU, they do need the money because there was a report somewhere, I think earlier this year, that TSU was in danger of potentially shutting down if it did not get more funds. And credit to their football program, they're making a concerted effort to go out and schedule these SEC teams. They've got a meeting against Vandy, and I believe another one against Georgia scheduled in the next 5 years. So good on them for doing that. But I think no matter where you play that game, I don't think you're going to have fans that are super happy for that. Number one, it's a game Tennessee should win easily, right? And then number two, you play that game in Nashville. Maybe there's some excitement to see the new stadium. Tennessee fans are going to show up regardless, but you just don't have the same level of excitement in a place that is a neutral venue as opposed to a home venue. I feel like, and that may be something that I think is a bit of a turnoff for people. But I do think it is cool that they have finally decided to play each other, because Tennessee uh, likes to spread its money to more local FCS teams. For the most part, they are within the state borders. Teams like Tennessee Tech, ETSU, Austin P, UT Martin occasionally, a little bit more of a commute to get from Knoxville to there. Western Carolina is right across the border, so they play them every now and again. The most random one I could think of is Indiana State back in 2017. I don't know why they had that one on the schedule, but
Larry Bird's alma mater.
yeah, Larry Bird's alma mater. Tennessee won that game, like 42-7 that year, second game of the year. And I remember it was just like, there was a situation with Jarrett Garantano where he was like threatening to transfer, and it was like, if you don't play him in this game, we're going to be really upset. So they played him in the game, and Butch let him get in, and that's one of the few decent moments from that season, I guess, just in terms of wins and losses. But no, I am glad to see Tennessee finally get Tennessee State on the schedule. But at the same time, if they move the game to Nissan Stadium, I think there's going to be even less excitement among Tennessee fans for that game.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I know like the SEC is talking about changing up the matchups, like adding a like ninth game in there and whatnot. But but Tennessee's been playing against like FCS teams like every year. I'm just excited that it's someone new, that it's not Austin P, that it's not Chattanooga or something like that. I mean, I think it's a nice change of pace. I mean, of course, like Tennessee's presumably going to win comfortably, and there's not a lot of excitement there in terms of it being a close game, and it's not really going to mean much unless you lose in terms of like going to the playoffs or anything like that. I mean, I guess you only have stuff to lose, like when you play an FCS team. I mean, not saying Tennessee's actually going to lose, because of course I don't think that they are, but I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting to see Tennessee play against a new team again. And honestly, me being an MTSU alum, I'm just waiting for the time that Tennessee and MTSU play each other again. And of course, I know like MTSU is not an FCS team, but it would be nice, because I think the last time that they played was
2011.
2011. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dwight Dasher from MTSU was the quarterback during that time, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, I would love to see that matchup. Especially if it was at MTSU Stadium too, which would be interesting, because I actually missed the Vanderbilt game that they had my freshman year of college. They played against Vanderbilt, and they of course lost. But cool for TSU getting to play against Tennessee and everything. I guess we'll just wait and see how it goes.
All right, Jordan, that's about all I got tonight. Anything else we missed that you can think of?
Actually, there might be one thing. Let me check here, because I thought I had something. Well, I mean, I'm sure that. Well, oh yeah, we forgot to mention about the preseason All SEC members
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
like,
did forget that.
yeah, like Jerrod McCoy, first team All
No
SEC.
surprise.
Yeah, no surprise at all. I mean, assuming that he's going to be healthy for most of the year and stuff. I mean, no surprise at all. Um, both the Carters got in. Arian Carter, who we spoke about a lot today. He's a third team, and then like Boo Carter as well. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. I thought that there might be more than that. Like, do you think that they left anybody off?
Maybe Sam Pendleton. That's my only guess. I mean, the defensive line is good. Maybe Josh Josephs. That's one that came to mind. But the defensive line, like, we know they're going to be good. I just don't think we've seen as much from them as some of the other defensive linemen around the conference, which is okay. I get that to an extent, but I do still think this defensive line is going to be very good in 2025. But offensively, I'm not going to levy any kind of big argument against you if you try to leave Tennessee players out, just because there's a lot of unknowns there, which is okay.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the reason why there weren't more Tennessee players on there. I mean, I think Pendleton could have a really great season with the Volunteers. And, Joshua Josephs, he's someone that I've been high on for a minute now, and I expect him to really break out. But I mean, there's not really been as much enough to like necessarily put him in the all SEC conversation. So, but I'm sure it's not going to be that way towards the end of the year. I expect Tennessee, when it's all said and done, to have more than 3 all SEC players and hopefully an all American in Jermod McCoy. But I guess we'll just have to wait to see.